I want to say happy Father's Day to all the men out there. This is the one day that I celebrate. I celebrate Mother's Day, Father's Day, and birthdays. The other holidays I really don't pay too much attention to, but I believe days like this where men, fathers, actually are celebrating and should be celebrated because I was just looking at the definition of father here on the Oxford, Google, whatever. It says a man in relation to his child or children. And then also it goes further to say a father is the male parent of a child. Besides the paternal bonds of a father to his children, the father may have a parental, legal, and social relationship with the child that occurs with certain rights and obligations. Certain rights and obligations. And I believe those men out there doing the right thing by taking care of their children, no matter if you with the woman that you had the child with or not, or even you have stepped in, right? Maybe you're a stepdad or you're a significant other who has stepped in and you're helping to take care of other men's children. You guys, this is also Father's Day for you guys as well. And a lot of times, because of social engineering, the matrix that we so called live in today have a heavy burden on men. And this is my conjecture, not as so much as women, right? Because you have this modern day women versus this traditional women. Traditional women essentially want you to sweep them off their feet, take them from their house, provide them with everything they would need, plus all the other benefits. And you go out and you make the money and you work all day. And those traditional women that I'm not hearing now today is taking care of their man. If you're going to stay at home mom, so to speak, or stay at home wife or lady, and you don't have children just yet, or you don't want children, whatever the case may be, there's other jobs that are required if the man has to go out and do these particular things. Happy Father's Day. I don't think men in our society get celebrated in these regards enough of, should we really celebrate fathers for doing what they supposed to do? Or is that social engineering? Or is that something that, we essentially come? Yes. Yes, because a lot of people may feel that they're not being celebrated. They're not being appreciative. People, the things that men do are not appreciative to even some other men and women as well. And even some of their children of what men do. Yeah. Maybe the man is not financially stable enough to assist and pay and provide in those financial ways. But what if that man has physical skills with his hands, or maybe he's an intellectual and he has a lot of advice because of the trials and tribulations of his life? Is he still contributing? That's the question. But a man's worth is mostly predicated upon what he can do, what he can provide. And those provisions are usually materialistic. Or okay, I can play the other side of the road, or those essential things that you need to survival, right? Shelter, food, and water. Only a small portion of Maslow hierarchy, only a small portion. But we understand when it comes to mothers, when it comes to children, they are revered more so than men. So I have to ask the men a question. Where would these other people be without you, without your father? And I'm talking about men. I'm not talking about scumbags and dirt bags and dusty dudes. I'm not talking about trailer park trash. I'm not talking about hood niggas. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm talking about men, the ones you see in the community, getting up every day, going to work, providing, being an example, whether verbal or silent, in their particular neighborhoods and communities. Because what people don't understand is kids are subconsciously subconsciously watching. Women are subconsciously watching. Other men are subconsciously watching certain people within a neighborhood. They may have never spoke to him. They saw him a couple of times, but every time they see this man, he's going to and from work, being an upstanding citizen of society. And yeah, people are gonna throw monkey wrenches inside of the operation. Yeah, you guys are gonna throw monkey wrenches inside of the operation. Well, how you know he not home beating his one? Listen, I'm talking about men. I'm talking about men. A friend of mine, his wife's birthday was last night, and we was having this very same conversation. And we're talking about when you meet a couple and they're married, or maybe they're engaged, or maybe they're seriously dating, you can tell the happiness or the contentment of a relationship when you look into the woman's eyes. Into the woman's eyes. Look into the woman's eyes, and that'll tell you how that relationship is doing. Because, you know, men, we've actually trained ourselves to be tough, to have this outer wall, this shell, this unbreakable. I remember reading Michael Baston's book, Men Cry in the Dark, and how we hide our emotions and how we suppress showing emotion to seem more manly. So I tend not to hide my emotions from my family anymore. I decide to open up, because when you open up emotionally, gentlemen, when you open up emotionally, and it doesn't have to be this, you know, Titanic sort of emotions, they're getting to know the real you. That's being a man. That helps them to celebrate you, that you're not this impenetrable fortress of you going around yelling and screaming or barking orders or being what they would like to believe overly aggressive. I can't tell you the last time my wife and I had an argument. Disagreements, yeah, all the time. But an argument, and I did not want you to ask yourself the question, who controls the conversation? Who controls the argument? Happy Father's Day. You can say what you need to say, however you want to say it. But being a man, being a father, you have to say it in the right environment, in the right setting. And I would know that a real man, a real father, will forego disrespecting his lady, will forego disrespecting the home that the child's residing in, and maybe an earshot of what you're about to say. If men are so logical, or we these so logical creatures, then shouldn't we be logical enough, knowing that we're about to get upset, knowing that we can't handle such a conversation, knowing that we should probably remove ourselves from that situation until we calm the hell down? And I know there's going to be people to prevent you to do such things. But until you elevate yourself emotionally, can you truly be a father? Let me tell you, guys, you know, society will like to beat us up all the time, or what we not doing, what we should be doing. And we have our own issues, do we not? We have our own emotional trauma from our childhood, do we not? But as a man, you have to deal with those things, because now if you have a family, you have a child, you have a significant other, guess what you have to do? Happy Father's Day. You have to be a man, and it's not easy. I was just telling my wife, there's a lot of things within the home that I don't want you to worry about. But at the same time, I want you to at least know of them, because if something happens to me, I'm out of state, out of country, on business, vacation, whatever the case may be, I want you to be able to handle that. I used to hate the old movies and shows where the man would pass away and the woman doesn't know what to do because her husband always handled those things. She got a little perturbed at me this morning because I paid some guy $1,500 to fix the garage door. And she's like, "What?" And I was on a phone talking to my son, who gave me a call, told me Happy Father's Day. And and I was telling her all the intricate, details of why it cost that much and why I paid that particular guy to do it or whatever. And she understood. And she just sat there and listened to me very attentively. And she just understood. I can understand. She, without saying it, she was telling me I can understand the dynamics and the dichotomy of your mind going back and forth of being manly and being a man versus should your woman know these things as well, just in case? Is that also being a man? Happy Father's Day. Is that also being a man? So today, fellas, today, gentlemen, happy Father's Day. And let those people enjoy you. Let those people celebrate you. Because a lot of times, as men, oh, baby, you don't got to do all that. No, it's cool. No, let them do that. Let them do that. 2 days that we have out of 365 is your birthday and Father's Day. Let people celebrate you. Let people know a side of you that they didn't already know. Let them know something close to you. Open up just a little bit. Let them know you're not this impenetrable fortress that just goes out and bring back the bag and bring back the cash and the money, that you're this hardworking machine that nothing can get through. No. Let them know the real you. Happy Father's Day. Because it's important to your relationship with your significant other as well as your child. Very, very significant. So let those people in your life celebrate you however they want to celebrate you. Friday night, my wife took me to a very nice steak restaurant in Dallas, Texas called Dakota Steakhouse. The steakhouse is actually underground, but with a street waterfall where you can look up and see the surface level. Very, very beautiful. I pinned that on my short stories if you guys want to check that out. I did a quick short story of the food we had. We had the seafood platter. They had lobster, shrimp, all the great things. Then the first time I ever had beef Wellington, where they cook a filet mignon steak inside of a puff pastry. It was delicious. I gained 5 pounds probably. I don't know. Then last night we went to another prestigious steak restaurant in Dallas, Texas called STK, where we were celebrating a friend of mine's, his wife's birthday. Let those people celebrate you. And I'm gonna leave you with this. And I don't know if you guys will agree or disagree. Yesterday within our area, I had to stop to get gas. My wife was in the car. We was on our way to Dallas. When I stopped to get gas, a white woman approached me, an older white woman approached me. And she said, "I love your hat." I was wearing a little casual hat. She said, "I love your hat." I said, "Thank you." She said, "Well, yeah, me and we're trying to get to so-and-so. We just need $6 of gas." And I'm not going to lie to you, family. $6 is not a lot of money to me. It's not. It shouldn't be a lot of money to you either. And so she was telling me her story, how she had to make it to this other town. Then I looked inside the truck in which she was pointing at, that her and this other person was trying to get to. Guess who was inside of that truck? A black man. A black man. Now, I'm not doing the Dr. Umar Johnson thing where, he had a snow bunny. No. I am talking about the aspects of being a man. Don't you sit your ass in the truck and have this woman come over here and ask me for something that you guys need to make it somewhere. Happy Father's Day. Because before you become a father, hopefully you was a man. And if you wasn't, hopefully fatherhood is making you a man. Let me tell you how fired up that made me feel, because it blocked their blessing. It blocked their blessing, because if you're asking for $6 in gas, I had over $200 on me. If the man would have came, I probably would have gave him $100. But it was the principle that he blocked their blessing. I had a heart to give. I felt unction to give, but they blocked it. So fast forward, last night, right in front of SDK, me and a buddy of mine, we went outside. He wanted to smoke his cigar. I was just chilling. And we had a gentleman to approach us, black man, down on his luck. He said he was fresh out. Older gentleman, though, probably in his 50s, mid 50s. He said he was an ex-Navy vet. He doesn't have this. He doesn't have that. And he didn't seem to be on alcohol or drugs. And he said he don't do those things. But he talked for about a good 10 minutes, basically asking for some help, asking for some money. I didn't listen to the other 75%. I listened to the first 25%. Because within that first 25%, I asked him a particular question. I said, what are you going to do with the money? He said, the shelter's filled up. I'm just want a good night's sleep. I said, so if I walk you over here to the Sheraton, if I walk you over here to the Marriott, will you allow me to pay for your room? He said, yes, without a doubt. Okay. So I let him finish talking. I said, so what's more important to you, a night at the hotel or some money for food? Long story short, family, I ended up giving him $50. I ended up giving $50. And that $50 could have been, rightfully so, the other gentleman who stayed his bitch ass in the truck. I'm sorry. I know it's Sunday. I know you got church ears on. I apologize. But anytime you have a woman to go do something that I believe, right, very biased, that a man should be doing, you don't ask your woman to go ask another man for nothing. My son wasn't even in the car. Happy Father's Day. Because your children are watching you. And it's very, very important, in my opinion, family, gentlemen, fathers, men, even though that this society has been socially engineered by whoever that what a man should do, this is the reality that we live in. It's a reason why we are so-called the more logical creature. There's a reason why we're the so-called stronger species. When we're going to start using that logic and strength as a benefit to others? But yeah, he made me angry. Long story short, I just felt I'm not going to have my wife go ask another man for anything. Just as well, if me and my wife were struggling and there was a woman, I don't believe my wife would allow me to go to a woman. No, that's woman business and this is man business. If our so-called job is to provide, then you're not providing by sitting in the truck. Letting her, yeah, he was in the driver's seat. So what? Get your ass out and ask another man for things that you need for you and your family. He blocked his blessing. But the gentleman that night came to us. Very, very logical. It was very humid last night in Dallas. He was sweating, but I didn't smell any alcohol. Like I said, it didn't seem like he was on any drugs. And he just needed a helping hand. Now I wanted to go to the extra mile and pay for a hotel room and buy him some food, but my dinner bill was over $200, so I couldn't really see it in my budget. I'm just being real. You family, I'm probably one of the most transparent people you'll ever talk to. I'm very real. Yeah. I had a certain budget and I didn't want to forgo that because all the restaurants, all the hotels around were, $200 a night, hotels or whatever. So I gave him $50. But yeah, please take this time If you don't have nobody that's going to celebrate you, of you being a father, you being on your business, you being on your mission, you being on your grind, then celebrate yourself. Let this, not just this day, this weekend, whatever. Like my celebration started Friday night. This morning on Father's Day, my son, my wife came inside the room with, matter of fact, these baskets, right? These baskets, they bought me my favorite cologne. They bought me one of my favorite candles, right? I love the Men Indulgence. They should probably give me a sponsor. Men and these are really, really good candles, right? And then they presented me with these cigar holders, right? So when the cigar gets small, you can put the cigar in there and you can smoke it like that. Oh, and also this T-shirt, this cigar T-shirt. And I told you guys by 50, I'm gonna stop smoking cigars. I think I am. I think I am. Don't hold it to my head. Just hold it to my heart. But nonetheless, they presented me with these gifts, and I was truly thankful. And because men, we build this really tough outer shell, and you start to feel like they're penetrating it and you feel uncomfortable. And I did for a moment, but I had to let go of that feeling and feel what men would like to call weak in a sense, right? Vulnerable in a sense. And I did. And I was very appreciative. And my wife, she always want to do more, more, more. And she, babe, you do so much. And I love you so much. And you've done this and you've done that. And I love you. And it's just not all materialistic. It's not all dealing with money, but just the things or the words that you speak. Because a lot of times you may not have the means to be as supportive as you want to be, but these are your words of encouragement. Just your body mass in the presence is supportive. They presented me with these gifts. I'm very appreciative. A lot of thought went into these gifts, and it was more than I could ever ask for. And she was like, babe, I wish I can buy you a Corvette. I was like, babe, I was going to buy a Corvette. I don't really need, or I'll get one later if I really want one. But I told her the things that she did meant so much to me, because even without those things, I just feel appreciative that they're in my life. But I go back to saying that's why it's important to allow those people to celebrate you. And these times when people don't have other people, significant others, but you're a father and you're a man and you're doing the right thing by your children or your child, go and celebrate yourself. Go and have one of your favorite drinks. Go in one of your favorite restaurants. Go buy yourself a love gift. Because I'm going to tell you, a lot of times when I was single, I did a lot of things by myself. Were there times where I felt lonely? But of course. But I took the time to celebrate myself of the achievements that I made in my life, so I wouldn't forego those joys. Even though I would love to celebrate it with people that I'm friends with, family, or whoever the case may be. But sometimes, depending on the situation, area, location, whatever that you're in, still celebrate yourself. But it's also very important to have people that are supportive of you to celebrate that as well. I'm not saying be a hermit. But nonetheless, happy Father's Day to all you men out there doing the right things by yourselves, by your significant other. And most importantly, no matter if you're a stepfather, biological father, that you're doing what's right by your children in the best way you know how, with the best means you know how. And one last thing, you can always do better. You guys have a great one. They're taking me to the movies, and I know my wife, he went up there and do a whole video, and we supposed to leave here at 12:30 Central Standard Time. Peace.